Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga and Reiki Bliss. Great to see you all. I'm back again with one more foot, ankle, calf, lower leg exploration. Um, so we're looking a little bit today, briefly, at the movements in the ankle joint, two in particular. Dorsiflexion, when you draw the top of the toes toward the front of the shin, and plantar flexion, when you move the toes away from the front of the shin. So flexing and pointing is sometimes what you'll hear it called. And so I want to look at that action today and see if we can find some more freedom in those movements. So for our practice today, we'll need a block or a book, a ball, and a blanket, 3 Bs, blanket, ball, block, and then your mat. So let's meet on the mat. And you can put your ball off to the side. I'm going to put a blanket under my knee for a little extra cushioning. And we're going to start in a kneeling position. You might want you might want the block under your hand. I'm going to start by stepping, in this case, my left foot forward. I'm going to start with my ankle under my knee, my whole foot on the ground. And I'm trying to let my toes and my knees point in the same direction, in this case, straight forward, imagining my knee as bisecting the line between my 2 middle toes. And then from here, my work is to keep the heel on the ground, but to bring my left knee forward as far as I can. So this is increasing the flexion or the dorsiflexion in the ankle. And then I'm going to press back. And I'm going to try not to change my foot in any way. I'm going to try not to let it turn out or in. And I'm definitely going to just pause before I feel any knee pain or ankle pain. And come on back. And I'm going to do that one more time. Just seeing what the range of motion is, what my ankle is willing to do here. And then we'll come back. And then we'll do the same on the other foot. Again, just starting nice and easily with the knee over the ankle. So I'm using the structure here to support the joint above it. Toes and knees trying to point straight ahead like laser beams. And I'm going to glide my pelvis forward, bend my front knee, and see how far this ankle will go into the state of dorsiflexion. And I'll come back. And as I'm doing this, I'm just noticing, does my foot want to turn out? Where is the spot where my heel wants to lift? And I'm even noticing, the inner arch of my foot. Just noticing, not trying to do anything, but just noticing the habit. Does it want to fall in? Does it want to stay lifted? And then we'll come back. All right. And even just that little movement in my ankles feels really nice in the back of my ankle, like the Achilles tendon, my calf, lower calf area. It feels nice to move through that range. Now I'm going to bring a little bit of work, a little bit of strengthening, if you will, for the calf muscles. And so I'm going to have a ball here, and I'm going to place the ball in between my 2 feet, just below the ankle bone. Okay. And so it can be a little tricky. So be near a wall. Prop up on I get on the block first. The ball's in my feet and my toes are on the block, but my heels are not. Then I've got my hand on the wall so that I don't fall. And then I'm going to slide the ball again in between the ankles, but below the line of the ankle. So they're not pressing into the ankle bone. And then from here, I'm going to take a breath in and rise up. And as I rise up on my toes, like a super duper high heel, I'm going to hug that ball tightly. And I'm going to keep hugging that ball tightly and lower, lower, lower. So my heels can go a little below or as far below the line of the block as I'd like, but keep hugging the ball, keep squeezing it. And so I like this because here is we're moving into plantar flexion, the point of the ankle joint, right? That pointing feel. And now we're moving into dorsiflexion. But in this motion, the calf muscles are shortening, they're contracting what's called concentrically, they're shortening. And then when I lower, they're still contracting, they're fighting gravity's pull, but they're lengthening, they're eccentrically contracting. And let's do two more. Keep hugging your block. Keep hugging the ball between your ankles. Moving nice and slowly with control. Super. And then we'll come down and take your ball out, step down. You can just notice. And you're welcome to do more, maybe up to 10. You'll see how things feel. And then from here, I'm going to give now a little conscious calf stretch. So I'm going to take my blanket. You can fold it as thick or as thin as you like. I'm going to try to fold it back and forth a couple times like an accordion. I did about 4, so it's a little bit thicker. But you can definitely go thinner. I'm going to step to the left of it. So my right foot is up on the blanket, the ball of the foot and the toes and the heels on the ground. Now, as I'm here, I'm going to work to try to keep things parallel. This is a choice I'm making. You could always make a choice to turn the foot out and turn the foot in, but I'm making a choice to keep it parallel today. So get more of a direct line of pull on the muscles. Now, as you're here, share the weight between your 2 feet, especially the weight of the pelvis back over the ankle bones. And if that's not creating a juicy enough stretch in your calf, go ahead and step your other foot forward, your left foot forward, and that's likely going to amplify this quite a bit for you. It amplifies it for me, let me say it that way. And I'm noticing like my temptation to want to roll to the pinky toe side. I'm going to keep pressing evenly into my big toe mound because that's sort of my habit to kind of pull out of the stretch. And let's take 2 more conscious breaths. We're going to stay in this shape, and I'm going to bend the back knee. So I take the pull off of one of the muscles that crosses both at the ankle joint and the knee joint and focus on another muscle that shares a common crossing at the ankle joint and just see how that changes the sensation. And again, 2 more conscious breaths. And then we'll ease our way out of that and just notice the way your one foot, ankle, calf muscles feel versus the other. And then we'll check it in on the other side. Again, if check in, each foot might be very different. Like I definitely have one leg that's tighter than the other. This calf is already going, whoa, right? It's already talking to me. So I'm just going to start like in a Tadasana shape, the feet pretty next door to each other. My weight trying to stay pretty rooted in my 2 heels ankle area. And I'm going to just breathe into it. And as the sensation diminishes, then I might choose to take a step forward just to amp it up a bit, which it does. And then the next time I exhale, I'm going to bend my left knee. And if that's still not working, I'll step forward a little bit more. And so notice where your restriction is. Is it through the ankle? Is it through the calf? And accommodate, right? If it's through the ankle, maybe you lower the level of the blanket. It's through the calf, within reason, raise it up or lower it. And then the next time you exhale, we'll step on out and we'll just notice. And then the last thing we're going to do is a top of the foot stretch. So I like to have a blanket under my foot so the top of the foot has a little cushioning. You can choose to or not. So again, I'm going to stand in mountain pose, Tadasana, with my feet about the distance of my hips. Feet, knees, particularly trying to face forward, pelvis facing forward. And then I'm just going to step my left foot back, the top of the foot, the top of the front of the toes, toenail side of the foot on the blanket. And I'm going to just notice, right? Did things want to rotate to kind of back me out of the shape, to take the pull off it? Again, you're welcome to play with rotating the foot at any point. But I'm going to say start with the foot neutral so you know what that feels like. So you know when you're trying to back out of the sensation, right? And it's not just like a little habit or compensation versus a choice. So the choice we're making today is top of the foot, flat on the ground. Again, you can have your hand on a wall for balance or a chair. We'll take one more breath. And then we'll slide on out of that. Notice where you feel that sensation, where you feel space. Might even be interesting to notice how your feet look. If they look any different to you. And then we'll check it in on the other side. And I'm working to keep my feet in their own personal lanes, as wide as my hip. I'm noticing if my right hip and rib want to turn, mine tend to want to turn to the right. So notice what yours want to do. And could things stay pretty much like mountain pose, like Tadasana? And then can you breathe here? I notice I want to poke my ribs up, so I'm going to soften them, and I'm going to take 2 more breaths. And then I'm going to come on out and lay the feet on the ground next door to each other again, and just have a moment. So there you go. Take a little walk around if you like. Notice how your feet, calves, ankles feel. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you get to practice it again and again. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page or any of our social media pages, please do so. And thanks for being a part of our community. I'll see you real soon.